today to tell you of that great and wonderfully mysterious continent known as Africa. Africa is God's country, and he can have it. We left New York drunk and early on that fatal morning of February 2nd. After 6 days on the water and 3 in the boat, we finally reached the coast of Africa. We at once proceeded 300 miles into the heart of the jungle, where I shot a polar bear. This bear was 6 feet 7 inches in his stocking feet, and he had shoes on at the time.
Captain, I thought polar bears lived in the frozen north.
Oh, you did you? Well, this was a rich bear, and he could afford to go south for the winter. You take care of your animals, I'll take care of mine. From our first morning, we led an active life. Our first morning saw us up at 6, breakfasted, and back in bed by 7. This was our routine for the first 3 months. Then we finally got so we were back in bed by 6:30. One morning, I bagged 6 tigers! This was the biggest lot!
Oh, Captain, did you catch 6 tigers?
I bagged them! I begged them to go away, but they hung around all morning. They were the most persistent tigers I'd ever seen. Now, the principal animals in Africa are as follows: the moose, elks, and knights of Pythias. The elks live way up in the hills, and every summer they come down for their annual convention. You should see them come to the water hole. It's very interesting. It's even more interesting to see them run away when they find out it's only a water hole. What they were searching for was an alcohol. Well, they can't all be good. You should expect that. One morning, I shot an elephant in my pajamas. How we got in my pajamas? I don't know. We tried to remove the tusks. Tusks. That's not so easy to say. Tusks. You try it sometime. As I say, we tried to remove the tusks. But they were embedded so firmly we couldn't budge them. Of course, in Alabama, they're Tuscaloosa, but that's entirely irrelevant to what I was talking about. We took some pictures of the native girls, but they weren't developed. But we're going back in a couple of months.
Thank you for that very enlightening speech.
Uruguay! Well, you go Uruguay and I'll go mine.
What do you think about Guatemala?
Well, that's a totally different problem. Guatemala all night, or you can't mull at all. Of course, that takes a lot of Honduras. How did we get into this anyhow? Let's talk about something different. Take Abyssinia. I'll tell you what, you take Abyssinia and I'll take a butterscotch sundae on mine. No, make mine the same. Pardon me, I'm Spalding. I've always wanted to meet you. Let's see what the boys in the back room will have. Mrs. Rittenhouse, you. Are we alone?
Why, Captain, I don't understand.
Don't understand being alone? Well, don't give me that, or you'll be alone. A big slut like you, turning all cute on me. Come out to the arena, Mrs. Rittenhouse. I'm a man who likes to roam around Mrs. Ritten.
Mrs. Ritten?
I don't have time for the whole thing. I'm a busy man. Excuse me. Mrs. Rittenhouse. Ever since I met you, I've swept you off my feet. There's been something throbbing inside of me. Oh, yes! It's like the incessant beat of the tom-tom in the jungle. Oh, Mrs. Rittenhouse, there's something I must ask you.
Oh, what is it, Captain? What is it?
Would you wash out a pair of socks for me?
Captain, I'm surprised.
Well, it may come as a surprise to you, but I've been thinking about it for months. It's just my way of saying that I love you, Mrs. Rittenhouse. I love you, I love you, I love you! Tell you what, you go to my room, and I'll go to her room.
I beg your pardon, am I intruding?
You intruding? What a question. I should say you are intruding. Just when I had her on the 5-yard line. I should say you are intruding. Pardon me, I was using the subjunctive on the past tense. Yes, we're way past tense. We're living in bungalows now. This is a mechanical age, of course.
Mrs. Whitehead, I don't believe you've met Captain Spalding yet, have you?
Why, no, I haven't. We haven't seen much of the captain. It seems you've been a little bit selfish.
That's just what I was telling her. Well, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
And how are you? That leaves you one up. My goodness, you have the most beautiful eyes. Do you know that? And so have you. I don't think I've ever seen 4 more beautiful eyes. Well, 3 anyway. Why, you girls have got it all. Why, you're tall and short and slim and stout and brunette, and that's just the kind of girl I crave. You girls, we 3 would make an ideal couple. Why, you've got everything. You got beauty, charm, and money. You have got money, haven't you? Because if not, we can quit right now. My time is not what it used to be.
The captain is quite charming, isn't he?
I'm fascinated.
I'm fascinated too. Right here on my arm. Oh, I'm just an old pleasure man. Why, if I were Eugene O'Neill, I could tell you girls exactly what I think of you. You're lucky the Theater Guild isn't putting this on. So is the Guild. Pardon me while I have a strange interlude. Why, you couple of baboons, what makes you think I'd marry either one of you? How strange the wind blows tonight. Has a thin, eerie voice. Reminds me of poor old Martin. How happy I could be with either one of them. If both of them would go away. Well, what do you say, girls? Are we gonna get married?
But Captain, which one of us?
All of us! All of us! All of us! All of us! This is my party! It's my party! Party. Party. Here I am talking about parties. I came down here for a party, and what happens? Nothing. Not even ice cream. They show me a statue. No, they don't even show it to me. They steal it. Oh, the gods look down and laugh. This world would be a much better place for children if their parents had to eat spinach. Well, what do you say, girls? Are we all going to get married?
All of us?
All of us.
Well, that's bigamy.
Yes, it's bigamy too. It's big of all of us. Let's be big for a change. I'm sick of these conventional marriages. One woman for one man. It may have been good enough for your grandmother, but who wants to marry your grandmother? Not even your grandfather. Just think of the honeymoon, girls. Strictly private. I wouldn't let another woman in on this. Well, maybe 1 or 2, but no men. I may not even go myself.
Captain Spalding, are you suggesting companionate marriage?
Well, it's got its advantages. I mean, you could live with your folks, and I could live with your folks. And you could sell full of brushes. Living with your folks, the beginning of the end. Drab dead yesterdays. Shut out beautiful tomorrows. Hideous stumbling footsteps. Creeping along the misty corridors of time. Time. You may not believe it, but they used to give Pulitzer Prizes away for this kind of thing. So what do you say, girls? Are we all gonna get married?
I think marriage is a very honorable institution.
Yes, but you can't enforce it. It was put over the American people while our boys were over there. We gotta find this left-handed sculptor. In a case like this, the first thing you look for is the motive. When you found it, you found the motive. Now, what could have been the motive for the guys who swiped the Bogard?
I got it. Robbery.
You know, sometimes I think it would have been better if your mother had remained single.
Hey, Capt, come at me like a flash. This is statue, it wasn't stolen. This is statue disappeared. What am I making the statue disappear? Moths. Moths that eat it. Left-handed of moths.
Left-handed moths ate the statue. You know what? I'd buy you a parachute if I didn't think it would open.
I already got a pair of shoes.